Hi, welcome to SBR Sports Picks. I'm Peter Lojak. He's Mike Brenner. Today's Friday, September 23rd, and this is when we do our weekly recap of college football. It's college football week 4.
But don't forget, Pete, it's the odds couple.
That's right. It is the odds couple, and it's the odds couple because Mike Brenner and I are very different, although we both, know our stuff. That's the one way we're the same.
Yeah.
We kind of know our stuff. More or less,
guess what?
when
This
it comes
is
to
no
sports
lie.
betting.
There's not 1 minute we spend rehearsing, talking about what
That's
we're
right.
going to talk about or nothing. And afterwards, it's over, and that's a true story.
So the college football segment that we do with this every week is a little bit cumbersome because there's so many games we could talk about each one.
Yeah.
It could go on for half an hour, but we'll try to. Okay, so let's start with this week's results. Obviously, our regular viewers know you freaking nailed the Clemson game. You got it at a great number. You weren't spooked by the early line movement. The opener was 10. It went down to 8.5. You didn't care. You took Clemson at 8.5. It went back to 10, and of course they cashed. So you got a winner there.
A guy hit me up yesterday. He's like, "Hey, Mike, what do you think? I'm offered at 11. Do you still like it?" I said, "Absolutely. Don't even hesitate." Boom.
There you go. All right. So you've got 3 official picks on the record so far. You got Stanford -3, you got Michigan State -5, and you got Louisville first half, which you got at -14.5.
Yes, and I want to add one more.
Okay, we'll get to that in one second. And I've got Kentucky -2, Purdue -4, which is a great number that we got on the opening line show. I got Rutgers +14, with Jeff from BMOCWins.com warned me off of, and I think I might go off of that. I got Texas State +34.5, which is kind of a big balls play considering how awesome Houston is, but I don't know. I just feel like Houston isn't going to take this. They might take it 90% seriously. Texas State's going to take it 110% seriously.
Because they want to preserve Greg Ward.
Does that feel like a smart play to you?
I think it's real smart because Greg Ward is vulnerable, so when they get the big lead, they're going to pull him. I'm telling you.
And Oregon State +14, I got. And you know what? I gave when we previewed Cal Arizona State. You remember that? I went official with the first half over 42 and with the over 82.5. And then I did a video with Steve from collegefootballwinning.com. I don't know if you caught this, but this guy's the real deal when it comes to college football.
I've heard.
He doesn't know anything about hockey, baseball, nothing. All he does is college football all year long. Wow. He has a great record long term. That was the game he picked. He also usually chooses sides, but it turned out that he picked the total, and he likes the over.
Wow. So is it still sitting at 82.5?
I believe that it is. Yeah, right before I checked. So those are my picks so far. Let's get to before we get to the picks that you're going to add. Let's touch on some of the interesting games. First of all,
break it down.
As we know, Alabama tends to not be a good bet as a huge favorite, but the line's actually gone up a little bit. It opened at 43. I think I grabbed it at 42.5. Now it's 43.5 or 44 market wide. What do you think? Do you think that because of their tough game that they're going to come here and blow out Kent State?
Not at all. I don't think. I think they're going to do what they normally do, which is when they're cruising. That's when they go into they literally defense mode in the second halves. And now there is that spiff between Lane Kiffin and Saban. So who knows? But Pistol Pete, that's a large number. And at the bet box, they wouldn't even offer a first half or nothing on that.
Of course
so
not, because
I'm off of that
get
one.
Killed on it. Then we have a Florida State, South Florida. That's an interesting one because South Florida is opened as a 6-point dog, which seemed a little bit low. Now it's down to 4.5, 5, 5.5. What do you think?
They'll be ready for Florida State.
Yeah.
They saw a window of an opportunity because that's a vulnerable team, Florida State. Jimbo Fisher said shit's going to change, but I got to stay off that. There's a lot of mojo at South Florida though right now.
And I'll tell you what, I do my call with Brent from BetDSI every week. We get the inside scoop on the information. That's one of the games I'm going to ask him about specifically.
Okay, good.
Another game I'm going to ask about specifically is Wisconsin-Michigan State. That's the one you like. And there has been slight line movement in favor of Wisconsin. That's not super concerning, I guess. It's 4.5, or 5. You're on 5 from earlier in the week. You're still liking that one, right?
I am, Pete. This coach is very good. And last week, that win, it's kind of, again, I'll compare it to like how Clemson just really finally found what they had. Well, Michigan State found it against, was it Notre Dame that they buried? Right? All right, that coach isn't going to let that momentum slip away. Now, had this game been going to Wisconsin, I would have no problem saying, but Wisconsin's coming into a really tough place. I'm still very, very confident with Michigan State minus the 5.
Other interesting games, Eastern Carolina, usually a giant killer, but as we said earlier in the week, they opened at +11 against Virginia Tech. Now it's up to 12.5 market wide. This is the third straight, game against the Power 5 team that they're playing, so maybe they can do it like 1 or 2 weeks in a row, but 3 weeks in a row is asking a little bit much,
Well, there's another factor in that game, too.
Yeah, what's that?
Virginia Tech found out that after this, when they had the Speedway game in Bristol, Virginia Tech decided to pull the positive instead of the negative because Tennessee found their mojo and took off. All right, this coach is really smart. First year without Frank Beamer. All right, he literally has sold the locker room. I got some inside information. This team is coming out confident as hell, and that's where your line movement's all about.
There you go. That's interesting because that is peculiar line movement. Then we also got a curious line here. Mike Brenner, I don't know if you'll maybe make this one of your official picks, but Notre Dame in a bounce back spot, still hanging at 20.5. Bookmaker DSI has 20. Interesting. Seems like a low line relative to how bad Duke has been and how much of a motivated team, Notre Dame, you have to assume is going to be here, right?
It got to. And you got a quarterback that literally says, all right, I had a chance to show him I was the man. I kind of let that go, and I got to show it again. This is the team to do it against. Kelly's pissed off. Right? He's not at all going to let this team just fold like that. So I think Notre Dame's going to do it, but I do have them involved in my teaser. I'll get to that later.
Okay. So. Another interesting game, of course, Michigan, awesome this year, 18 points over Penn State. Not sure what we think of that. Yeah. Other interesting game, there you go, that Houston-Texas State game. We'll see. Another interesting game, Nebraska and Northwestern. I'm telling you, man, the line has gone up.
Yeah,
it's 8.5 or 9. Northwestern is not a good team, but as a home dog against a team like that.
They show up. They've done it.
They show up once in a while.
And you know how they do it with a fullback. They got that ground game. They run out. They do.
Exactly. I'm telling you, man, I'm tempted as this line gets higher.
Hey, another little psychological edge. All right, now Nebraska, they're going through a whole rebuilding stage. All right, remember Bo Bellini, all that stuff.
Sure.
This team's coming in unsure of themselves right now. I promise you, that's what it is. Northwestern's quietly waiting, and like you said, that one spot. Sometimes it's twice a year it happens. It happens. This might be it.
Other interesting games, of course, Stanford, UCLA. We'll see how good Stanford really is.
We'll see how good UCLA really is.
And then, of course, another game that I'm going to ask Brent about specifically is Louisville against Marshall. That line is 24 up to 26.5 or 27. Last week, Brent told us that Louisville was on Florida State, which of course turned out to be obviously the right pick. He also told us that the Sharps were on Marshall against Akron. That obviously turned out to be the horrifically wrong pick. So I'm wondering what the sharp action is. I'm assuming the public's going to be on Louisville this week.
You know what? I want to know what the sharp action is too. And guess what? That's why I'm going to ask you, because I consider you sharp as you. You do, Pete. You do. And you always taught me it doesn't matter where you get your info from.
That's right.
I need your opinion on this.
Louisville
has a big game next week, right?
Yes.
Next week. Am I right?
Yes.
Do they overlook, or does Bobby Petrino, is he doing a well enough job to take this team on the road and go, guess what? This shit stops and never stops. We got to keep kicking ass.
I do consider myself to be legitimately and honestly sharp when it comes to totals and second halves, but on spreads, not really. So, I think
the only stupid question is the one you don't ask. That's what my dad told me.
Absolutely. So ask me about a total, ask me about a second half, and I think you're getting a valuable opinion.
Okay.
On a spread,
I'll leave that to myself.
I mean, it seems to me, I don't know. On paper, obviously Louisville is the side, but Marshall, does have talent on their team. That's just a massive line. We'll see.
Now, I did read some more information about this quarterback, and apparently he really is a good deal. They say he is really a good kid. He's very intelligent, and he does have an opportunity to jump in this Heisman race, which he's already in.
Sure.
So we'll see what happens there, buddy.
We shall see. All right, that's it for all the super interesting games. I'm probably going to add a few totals to my my total picks here that we're going to give publicly and officially. Mike Brenner, what would you like to add or subtract from?
I'm sticking to my plan with that 18.
Okay.
The 18 picks, buddy. I'm splitting them with the 5 and 5. Okay. All right, we got it done with Clemson. Now I'm adding one. Washington, first half, it was available at -6.5, -115.
I doubt it's there
right now. It's probably -7.
Because the line opened at 11, now it's up to 14. So someone really likes Washington.
2 hours ago, the half was 7, and
we can still give you 7, but it's no 6.5. But we can give you 7 -115.
Okay, and I'm taking it. I'm taking it. Rich Rodriguez. Guess what? Time to pack up and go again. And this team's for real. They believe in themselves. They start out early. They pour it on early. They covered a huge first half for me a couple weeks ago, and they did it again last week. Now, here's the deal. It's -7. I got no problem with that. That is my official pick. I'm adding on to my college football.
-7, -115. And in case people are wondering what I have in front of me right here, I have my notes and SBR odds line chopping. So, if you wanted to take Arizona, you would go to Bookmaker and Bet DSI. You take +7.5.
Exactly.
If you're like Mike Brenner and you want Washington, you go to Heritage, BetOnline, SportsBetting.ag, GT Bets, and you want -7. So line chopping is key. SBRodds.com. All right. So
with that being said, I've got one other, because what I do is 5 single picks. I'm doing a teaser every week for college.
All right.
And
what else do you have?
2 and 1 on my college teaser. Here's my 3-team teaser based on a 10-point adjustment.
Okay. I'm not going to list all the spreads because
you're not.
Just
tell
me the book and tell me the bookmaker.
Yep.
Okay. And the
ready?
3 teams. Yep.
Washington.
Okay.
Notre Dame.
Okay.
Michigan.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds good.
I love it, buddy.
All right,
10-point adjustment.
Excellent.
And I'll tweet all this out.
Okay, and then is that it for you?
That's it for me, buddy.
That's it for you. Okay, sounds good. Now let's see. What do I want to do? Let me just
here we go.
Bring up my notes here. All right.
Yeah, open up the damn barn gate.
I don't know. I got a bunch of. See, the problem with college totals is that I'm actually doing really well so far this year in college totals. There's no one total that sticks out to me that I'm really like. Just a lot that I'm kind of liking. I'm thinking about Syracuse, UConn under 57. Syracuse.
UConn's not got a powerful offense.
Right,
this
and
year.
Syracuse. Well, their quarterback is actually kind of getting it, but it's just a high total. Syracuse has given up big points to offenses that are way better than UConn's for sure. And all right, fine, I'll give it under 57.
There we go. Pull that
Syracuse, UConn. All right, and then let's see what else. Today. You know what I think I'm going to do? I'm thinking of just giving out Stanford, UCLA under, and the game tonight, which is Utah and USC. You know what? Yes, I'll give Utah USC under, which I believe is still 46.5.
Total's low, Shaq.
And Stanford UCLA. That's a tough one. I really kind of like the under, but what do you think?
Do you sleep at night?
I'm
serious. I'm not kidding. This is no bullshit.
I sleep in calculated chunks of hours.
I'm just confounded. Yeah.
And I got some modafinil coming in from the States soon.
You didn't hear that here.
No, that's not illegal.
Who knows? I didn't know. It sounded illegal to me.
It's a nootropic, which is one of those drugs that's supposed to help you, think better.
Oh,
all right,
God.
now let's see. So I don't know. Do I want to give UCLA and Stanford? What do you think? I like it as an under, but it's going to be cut. I mean, they're going to get their points. Rosen is great. McCaffrey's great. I'll stay off it. That could sneak over. Right?
There you go, China. I love when you do the little try to wedge it out of me.
Yeah. They do have
Big Daddy has pulled you off the porch before. Trust me.
Yeah. All right, and let's see. Maybe
you're on your own.
Should I just throw on Northwestern here plus 9? What do you think?
I like your breakdown, Pete. They wait for that opportunity, and I'm telling you, Nebraska is growing. This is a team going through a lot of changes. Northwestern, hey, they got that opportunity. This is their Super Bowl to them. But I'm not going to tell because then I'm going to have to feel the guilt if it loses.
No. Yeah,
that's one thing you never do. Throw it back in my face. You know what? Jump on it then. Damn it, jump all over it.
It does seem like it's a.
Come on. Oh, by the way, the Cubbies are kicking ass right now. 420, baby.
All right, you know what? I'm going to hold off on that one. Because Nebraska really can.
Hold off. We got another video to do. Let's go.
Let's
figure this out now. You told me to keep it short today. Swear to God, tells me to keep it short,
I'm also thinking about the under in Duke Notre Dame, and also thinking about the over in Central Michigan,
You're thinking
Virginia.
about all kinds of totals and overs and this and that, and this is only college. We got NFL, and guess what? We got basketball videos to do next week, and I'm not kidding you.
That's right. Okay, I'll just leave it at that. Those are all my picks. Those are all the official picks that I've added.
Tune in tomorrow.
Mike Brenner's going to be doing more stuff tomorrow for college football.
Yes, got a big show tomorrow. Me and Big Man on Campus and Double J, Jamie James. We're going to be doing a roundtable tomorrow called Sleepers, right? Afternoon games that no one really knows about. A little sleeping opportunity to beat that book.
And enhance your information by watching the Bet DSI show that I do every Friday. Brent tells us all the sharp and public action that he gets every week as of Friday. And it does change radically from our show to kickoff, but it's definitely valuable information no matter what.
Right,
all right, Mike Brenner, good luck this week.
Come on, this is good stuff.
Go to SBRodds.com. Browse, compare, and shop live odds available at top online sportsbooks.